Good morning, everybody. It was watering day today, and I decided to do a little show and tell. So what I've done, and I do want to show you some interesting things I discovered, but what I have done is all the ones that are in spike are on this side, and the ones that aren't, I'll show you after, are on that side. And most of them are over here, and so things are looking good. So I'm going to get the camera and I'm going to show you a few things I found interesting today. Okay, so in front I have the traffic cones, and they have quite a few leaves, and there's one nice spike coming there, and you can see where the last ones were. So we have our 2 leaves and a spike. Now this side we have lots of leaves. You can see the year when I first repotted it. It struggled. It grew a small leaf. So whether I'll get a spike in here or not on this side, I can't say. But the last leaves, when you look at your last leaves, you know if your orchid is doing well. Now I will be wiping these off before they go back to their home. I've never had root rot, and I've never had any problem with getting the whole orchid wet. I always water in the morning. I have a fan going in the summer. I don't wipe them. In the winter I do, because they dry quick in the summer. So let me just move this one aside. And over here, this is the one I put in a traffic cone that had a terrible accident, and it lost a couple leaves, and I cut part off of this one. But the newest leaves, and this is a new leaf, are very good, and it has a beautiful spike coming. So we'll just move that one out the way. Don't want to knock anything over. Now this one, what did I call her? Yellowbird. I have to rename them all again. My butterflies took off. But she has 2 spikes. She has one coming in here. Now that is not under a second leaf, and I find that very strange. I think that is a spike, but on this side, I think there's a spike there. Now these 2, I'm not sure. Time will tell. Now I find that very unusual, that there's one leaf and a spike under it, and what looks to be, so this will be one I'll be watching, that's for sure. So okay, this one here is my oldest orchid that I took the little piece off of the stem. It was so long, and it never had any leaves. Oh, there's a flicker outside. See if I can get them. Let's see. I wonder what, we never know. Sometimes we get hawks here, and oh, there he goes. They're always watching. They see out the sides of their eyes or something. So, okay, so this one has a really nice strong spike coming, and it's still growing a new leaf. And the last leaf was nice and wide, and a new leaf is coming and a spike, and I find that pretty good. Now, let's see. Move that over. Move that over. Now here, this is Moonglow. She's my second oldest orchid, and I have to show you something going on with her. So here's her spike. She has a nice spike under 2 leaves, but now some of my orchids that have been healthy, I've been cutting the flower spike high. And, you know, I cut them off if it's a sad orchid and not doing well. I always cut them to the base. Now, if I had a healthy orchid, I cut them higher. But, you know, this orchid never used up its stem. You know, without it getting too gangly, I could have cut it a little higher. But it's an experiment. And it is going to branch. So, it is, I guess, it didn't need this stem, and then it felt it had enough energy to send something out. So, very interesting to see how this is going to go. Maggie, sorry. So, that one's in spike. And in the back here, in spike, it's a tangle. Of course, these are my oldest orchids, and you can see in here how they're my oldest minis, that's for sure. How many flowers I've had off of these. And they are in spike. And back here, now see, I left this stem long, and I left this stem long. And probably not long enough to get a branch, but there is a spike coming in here. So interesting, you know, with a healthy plant, I may, you know, to see what happens, I may leave a longer one, but not so long that it's a tangle and it no longer looks nice to me. So, and of course you remember, I had the 2 white flowers I put in this pot. And this is an old orchid I had that was, it was a white one. I cut its stem high. I maybe could have cut it higher, but I repotted it. It has a nice spike coming. And on the other side was also a white orchid, but a new one I got for Mother's Day. So it's getting a new leaf, but it was so small. So it is still adapting, but it has lots of roots because I've been down and checked. Some are going from this one to that one. But anyway, they seem happy, and that is looking good. So, and this one, there is a spike in here. It used up its stem that I cut off. So, very interesting. Oh, and down here, look at the new growth coming here. And it seems to be really doing good. There's nice little roots. So this is seagull crawfish pie. So I'm happy to be seeing that. And this is the baby off the mother, that my oldest orchid. And she's still in here. I'm not seeing any new growth on her. The fern is still doing good, but like I say, if I did another one of these scapes, I would have left the fern in its pot. But someday I might fix that, but for now I'm just leaving them alone. Now this is Sorella reticula, and she was looking kind of rough, but there's nice little green roots coming in there, and this is a new leaf sticking up. And there's another new leaf back in here. So, you know, she seems to be doing okay. And here I put the slipper, and it got a new leaf. It's looking okay. This is an older leaf. I'm not pulling off till it's ready. And this one here is Fel Anna Licardi Socrati. She has lots of roots. And so far they're doing fine in this. There's just that one thing I would do different. So I'm just going to take you around the other side now. Of course, the ones in the baskets, they have done really well. I haven't never repotted them. They have so many roots. And it's just bark in the core matting on the outside of the basket, and they seem to love it. And she has a spike coming way down in here. So she has so many roots, it's hard to tell. And here's another one with just the bark and the core matting, cocoa fiber. And she has a spike right in there. Now, this one, it was one I had gotten this summer, not this summer, the summer before. It suffered. Let's look at this one first. It still has a leaf that it hasn't lost, which is okay. The newer leaves came small. Then they started to come a little bigger and a little wider, and the roots are looking good. Now these two were looking sad, and I always used to say they were my saddest ones. So she has a spike. This one, the leaf looked terrible that came out, and it really was suffering. But the newest leaf is not real wide, but it looks healthy. And of course these are the leaves from when it was suffering, but it has decided to give a spike. And here's a little one. Now this is a harder plastic than my traffic cones. And these were from the Dollar Tree, and I would not get them again. They didn't hold the paint. I don't know why. All my other ones have. But she has a spike coming. And here, the leaf, this is just a new leaf, just got. So the leaves look good, not a lot of leaves, but they look healthy, and a spike coming. So now I had to move the table. Oh boy, I'm going to be an hour cleaning up here. Okay, this is the one we looked in the pot, and I did give it a quick run through of water, and that was it, because it was watering day, and I didn't water it when we checked, but still no limp flowers. Now, that had her outer pot twice, given her new media. I'm finding this pretty amazing. And yes, I lost some roots, but you know, the leaves, they're not like really hard, but they're pretty good. I'm quite happy with them. Okay, now these two were the two, if you've been following me, that were out in the greenhouse. There's a fruit fly. That were out in the greenhouse, 140 degrees, most of that summer heat. Then I bought them in and I put them in the patio. They had never come into the house. They had way over 100 degrees, but they had the humidity in the greenhouse. But they weren't getting looked after. It got a leaf. It's trying to get another one. They're not big, but hey, when I put them out there, I thought these two are dying, and I just kind of put them out there. I didn't have the heart to throw them in the garbage. So it has a spike, and I marked them with two of these little things, this one and this one, so that I knew which two were in there. And it's been getting new leaves, but smaller leaves. But you know, I think they're going to be fine. This one I just put with this one, but it does not have a spike. So I'll just show you the ones now that aren't in spike and why. So the basket, there's been two kind of funny looking flowers on this one, and one just came off. I don't see any spikes in the rest of the basket of this one. So no spikes, but there was one. And this one is my big lip, and she had flowers in the summer. So she's busy getting a new leaf, and her leaves seem fine. And of course, this is the one that I checked the pot, and this was the one, a recent addition. But his leaves are good, and it's hanging in, and I have left a long spike on it, and it has not used it yet. And this one, there's some iffy things that could be spikes, but I didn't see any. And the same with Val Memoria ratag. And she's a species, she likes the shade. She does not like too much light. So I thought I'd just share that with you today. Just a short video of show and tell what's happening in the orchid world here. Bye for now.